Hello everyone and welcome to the Little Farmer's Farm with me, Guru Mafinda, aka Tony. It's a beautiful day today down here in Eden. Wonderful. But we've got onions to plant out. We've got quite a lot to do actually today. Again. But it's all for the greater good. I'm going to be doing this onion bed. So I've got some more compost I'm going to lay on top of it. I'll show you what I'm talking about instead of just talking about it. So all this was weeded yesterday. If you remember, we took the weed membrane off and stacked all the, I Bradley moved them all over to there. I'll stack them up properly after all the weights that we weighted it down with. Now, I'm going to be amending that soil. I'm going to be adding some new compost, some fresh compost in and working it in with a tiller the Hun. But first of all, with these, I'm going to bounce them up a bit, shake them up and loosen it, and then spread it all on the top and then work it in with the tiller. Look at my shadow there, casting a giant shadow. Like Peter Pan. So all that's going to be worked in. There's also going to be bloodfish and bone added in, and I might even add some of that, get some more organics in, some of that. Potentially, but it's only for onions. Onions are not really a particularly greedy plant, so what I might do is just stick to the bloodfish and bone, a general purpose fertiliser for the onions, and just work that new compost into it. Add a bit of body. We don't need much, to be honest with you. We don't need that much going in. So that'll easily do it. That'll stock up them beds, and I'll just work, as I say, I'll work it in. I might not even use that, you know. I might just till the soil and see what it looks like, and just use that for stocking up elsewhere. Because if we look up here, hang on, to this bloody dumping ground up at the top, I'll have to take all of these out. All this is coming out, and I'm going to have two long beds here. Long bed, about 2.5 foot wide, and then another one about 2.5 foot wide with a path going down the middle. That's the plan for here now. I've had loads of plans for this area. I was going to have a big like compost corral thing here, but I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to take all of those old bricks out. This was the Edwardian setup that I did. That was the idea of it, but it looks crap now because all them bricks I dug up out. There must have been an old building here at one stage, and I dug all these up out of the ground. They're all like stacked at the back here and down the sides here, like Joe's is there on that side. They were all like that, but buried under the ground. I dug them all up. But because they're about 100 odd years old, they just fall into bits, them bricks. You see them crumbling away there to nothing with the freeze-thaw action of the winter. It's just destroying them, innit? So it looks crap. I'm going to take them all out and get rid all of those. But I've got all of these here, these little flooring tiles, if you like, flooring slates. I'm going to create a central path with that down the middle from that end to that end and meet up with that path there, and then have two narrow beds, 2.5 foot wide narrow beds going down the middle of it, and then I'll use that for peas and beans, because the lady farmer likes peas and beans. But that's the plan anyway. But I'm going to take, like I say, I'm going to have to take all of that out and stack that somewhere temporarily, probably down here. Stack all the bricks down there until I can get them off the site. Yeah, because that's going to be a pain in the backside, getting all of them off the site. I might see if we can borrow a mixed trailer next week. If I can stack those up, probably down at the front, and then borrow a mixed trailer next week, and we can take them to the tip. Potentially. I'll take them in a couple of runs down to the tip. I think that's the plan. But I've got to get all that out, and then I can top up these then with the compost that I've got down there, because there's already compost in there. There's already soil in these areas. So, yeah, I'll not need too much, and I can just work that in, and we can have that. We can work that in. Anyway, that's a plan. And I'll grant you it's an off-the-cuff plan. But this is what allotments do to you. You're always thinking, and not necessarily correct thinking. But yeah, it keeps the mind on the go, that's for sure. But I've got to prepare that anyway, that onion bed. I'll get that sorted out. I will just till it, I think, and then add the amendments in. Because as I say, onions don't really particularly need a lot of feed. They just need a tickle, really. And let the roots grow and seek out that nutrition that's in the soil. So yeah, I'll do that. Now I know I said onions, but I'm going to put some potatoes in. I got a bit sidetracked because I was charging up this device, and so I moved on to doing this bed up here. You know, the one with a massive thistle in it? It had an enormous thistle plant in it, which was there where I dug that trench. There was a massive thistle plant there. It was a good 2 feet round, and it was very, very spiky. But I threw on my heavy-duty gloves and got rid of it and weeded it. I weeded all of this, and I've milled it with the, that's a tiller the Hun. And I've gone down about 6 inches into there, and I'm using it for potatoes, this. I'm going to plant some potatoes in there. So I've got some bloodfish and bone, which I'm going to put into that trench. This is the little trench that I've dug, and it's about 7 inches deep, that trench, and I'm going to mound it up as well. But yeah, and I'm thinking I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of 3 in there, and the variety of Sharps Express. So I've got Sharps Express, first early potatoes. These are Sharps Express. Yeah. Long and oval, lemon coloured flesh with a high dry pH. High dry pH. I don't know what that means. Anyway, they're suitable for boiling, roasting and chips, so that's what we're getting in. And these are going in now. If they all come out that size, we're laughing, aren't we? That's a decent spud. But these are the new potatoes. They're going to be going in there. As I say, we'll get 15, or is it 18 we'll get in there. If we do 6 rows, we've got 18 potatoes, and that's what I've got there. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So let's get cracking with that. So there's our trench. About 3 feet by probably 6 or 7 inches. Well, probably about 5 inches actually wide, but there's sides slope up, don't they, where I've been digging in, and then it's down about 7 inches. And the potatoes are going to be put in with the chits. You see the chits on them? Those little horns. They're the chits. Now, the roots will grow out from the base of those chits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on to, I'm going to sprinkle actually a little bit of that over the top. The normal compost that was on top, existing soil, and I'm just going to plop them in there, spaced out about 6 inches from the end. Stick that going that way, stick that one in the middle, and stick that one there on the end. So there's about 10 or 12 inches between them. Stick it down there, I think, like that. Up to there, and then just cover them over, and that's all you do. So you need your trench, because it's only about 6 or 7 inches deep, this bed. That's what we're going to have, but we're going to mound up afterwards as well. So as you can see, bloodfish and bone, a little bit of normal compost, and then I'm just going to cover them over, flick the earth back over to cover them in. From both sides like that, and then the feed, if you like, the bloodfish and bone is going to be covering in and around them, and it'll wash down. But also, what we're going to do is once they're all in, I'm going to give it a top dressing with that stuff, which is farmyard manure, and I'll dust the tops with farmyard manure, And then that, when the rains come, will wash down and feed the plant. Continue to feed the plant from above. But as I say, the roots come out. The roots will sort of go down in and around where the potatoes are. And it'll find that nutrition and it'll feed itself as it comes up. So I put one row in there. I'm going to have a little bit of a gap. Start off about there. And work my way back for the second row, and then the third row, and the fourth, and the fifth, and the end sixth. And then I'll mound them up then. Right. All right. So there's 6 mounds, if you like the Himalayas going through there. Then you can see where I've mounded them up. There's a bit of a divot there, or a trench, a valley between the mountain ranges. Now, when they come through, the horns, which are the chitted parts, they'll come up as stems, and the potatoes grow from them. So as they do that, they'll burst through. They tend to burst through, even though they're mounded up like that, they tend to burst through from the sides. So all I'll be doing then is, when they do come up, I'll top up that bed. I'll fill in the valleys, if you like, and top it up, mound it up with some more of that, with some more compost, basically. So even though they're in ridges like that, that just marks where you've put your rows, really. And then when they burst through, you can just put more soil on and let them grow on. New potatoes tend to sort of grow around the first 7 or 8 inches, really, above where the seed potato goes. They sort of gather around that. So as long as we mound that up as they pop through, I'll wait for them to pop through and then cover them over again and let them grow on. But you don't need a really deep bed for them. Like, that's a 7-inch bed. It's about all you need, really. You need about 8 inches, something like that, for new potatoes. And they'll grow from where the seed potato is. They'll grow out to fill in these valleys, and then hopefully you'll get about 12 spuds from each spud that you've planted. 10 or 12, fingers crossed, from each potato that's gone in there. So as you know, I put 18 in there. So if we're lucky, we'll get a couple of 100 spuds out of that. Out of that 6 foot by 3 foot bed. Hopefully, although last year was a bit of a catastrophe, hopefully we'll do better this year. But like I say, I'm going to just top dress it now with some of this farmyard manure. It's not the concentrated farmyard manure, it's not the 6X this. It's just the Levington's farmyard manure. And I'm just going to sprinkle it on. And as I say, that'll wash down and provide further feed. As the season progresses. Wash down, the nutrition will wash down around the plants. Don't need to put loads on, because you'll just be adding probably too much nitrogen if you put loads of it on. But one good handful per row should do the trick. And as I said, the nutrition will wash down into the soil. And as they come up, as the horns come up through the soil, I think they're called holms, but I call them horns. As they come up, they've roughly 2 or 3, some of them have got 4 chits on them. And those are your stems as they come up. And I'll cover them over as they do come up. I'll cover them over with a loose compost. Okay, guys, that'll be me for today. Just a quick one today. We're going watching the Minecraft movie. I couldn't get out of it. They couldn't get tickets yesterday, but she's managed to get tickets today, and she's got me a ticket as well. So waste not, want not, I'll be doing that. I shouldn't be a miserable guest anyway. I'm going there with the kid, with the family, watching the Minecraft movie tonight. So take care of yourselves and each other. Have a wonderful week. If I don't see you through the window, I'll see you I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the winter. Don't work too hard and enjoy yourselves. That's the main thing. If you're a lady, you've been beautiful, fantastic and fragrant. If you're a gentleman, you've been forthright, virile and masculine. And if you've been something in between, you've been something in between. We love you all. Peace, love and namaste. Guru out. Bye-bye, folks.